Was a girl running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
Okay, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of facts here, and I'm just going to read them as they're reporting them. Very generic, very vanilla. If you hear my little comments in between, well, I know Chuck will, and he probably won't cut them out. He'll probably leave me to fry. The FCC will be hanging me. But I don't care. These are things that you need to know because the used electric vehicles are coming out now. The new ones are coming back out. But these guys still have lots and lots and lots of already built ones that they can't sell. Nobody wants an all-electric EV. Some want, now the big change has been to hybrids. We're going to talk about all this for the next couple little segments so you guys can decide. Because there are people that are starting to, they're softening up. They're telling me, I guess I might buy a hybrid. I wouldn't buy an electric car, but I'll buy a hybrid. Well, a hybrid, I haven't told you, my granddaughter's had one for a couple of years now. She loves it. Okay, as used car prices fall, used electric vehicle prices fall even harder. Used cars drop in value almost across the board, with EVs, electric vehicles, leading the charge. According to a study from iSeeCars.com published this month, used car prices have slumped somewhat, with the electric vehicle market especially being dragged down by the Tesla Model 3s. They had a 24% drop, almost 25%. While it's tempting to blame the rapid electric vehicle depreciation on a cooled electric vehicle market in general, rapidly advancing electric vehicle tech means even 2 or 3 year old electric cars are no longer state-of-the-art. You're right. They're like the computers you used to buy for your kids. You buy it on Monday, on Friday they need a different one. And they're no longer state-of-the-art. Overall, this means that it's growing much cheaper to buy a late-model electric vehicle and that the used car market in general continues to heal from the COVID-era pricing. I wish they would quit using this COVID-era thing. And COVID. It's over. It's gone.
This is the new normal.
Yeah, no, it's not. And it's not going to dictate how the car business goes. I'm telling you. There's just the luxury cars, big, dramatic depreciation. I've got some numbers here for you, Chuck. I want you to see. And these are facts. These are not, I didn't just make this up. I didn't pull it out of my hat. As far as lost prices, Tesla Model 3, the average price is now $25,900. Not bad. That's a $8,500 difference from last year, or from this year when it started. I have another one. I have a Maserati Levante. You can buy for $43,000. Can you imagine buying a Maserati for $43,000, Chuck? I might go buy one. $11,000. That's less. $11,000 less than it started. There's other ones here. They're all here, but the ones that are the biggest ones. Range Rover Sport. You can buy for $53,000, and it's down $9,500 from what it was priced at. Here, Jaguar E-Pace. You can now buy for $26,477, and that's down $5,000. Oh boy. Here's another Range Rover that's down $5,000. Another one that's down $6,000. Jeez. The Ram 1500 Classic you can buy for $26,000 now, and that's down about $4,600. Mercedes-Benz AMG GT you can now buy for $79,000. Like I'd pay $79,000 for a Mercedes. And that's down $13,800, almost $14,000. Yahoo! The BMWs are all down. The Tesla Model S is down $8,000. In all reality, the average price of these cars is down to $30,228, and it's a $1,500 off, $1,500 off. As a next, that's got to be more than that, but it's definitely an average. And they're not these used vehicles, these used electric vehicles. I don't care if you give me a 100-year warranty on that battery. Just like the article said when I read it to you. It said that the state of the art is no longer there when you buy a 3-year-old electric vehicle. It's just state of the art. It's not anymore. The one you're going to buy is. But that's going to be $100,000. Bid. I just love talking about these people, these Chinese manufacturers. I told you I'm not going to get personal here, Chuck, today. Bid Auto Company has paused its plan to enter the Canadian electric vehicle market following the imposition of a 100% federal tariff on electric vehicles imported to Canada from China. 100%, Charles. That's more than brushing your teeth on it. Over the summer, the company met with dealers across Canada and establishing a possible distribution network, and engaged lobbyists to advise the federal and Ontario governments on the expected market entry of Bid into Canada for the sale of passenger electric vehicles. Well, this is when Ottawa jumped up and said Ottawa's move August 26th to follow suit with the United States is imposing punishing tariffs on electric vehicle imports from China coincided with the end of Bid's dialogue with government, public filings show, and talks with would-be distributors are now in a holding pattern. See, they don't want to come here and build dealerships. They want our Cadillac dealers and our Ford dealers to sell their doggone things, their bids. Any talks that would-be distributors are now in a holding pattern, according to dealers and industry sources with a knowledge of the matter, but who spoke on condition of anonymity. Yeah, easy for me to say. Bid did not respond to requests for comment. Chuck, they're trying to sneak in our back door. They're killing us, this Bid thing. And to bring a $10,000 electric vehicle here is suicide to our car business. Absolute suicide. First of all, we don't pay children $4 a day to work on cars, to put cars together. We pay trained automotive workers to put them together. And hopefully they should be better.
Well, and that would be the interesting question is how could a $10,000 or $12,000 or $15,000 automobile possibly pass all of the American standards?
Oh, I thought the batteries cost more than that.
Yeah, the average battery for an EV is about $15,000 to $20,000.
That's what I thought. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. I do get it. They want to get in. They want in here.
The other interesting question is the charger situation, because imagine a situation where, they could bring that car to this market or even Canada, and Elon says, nope, you can't use my chargers, which he could probably do. He could probably block them from using.
Oh, sure, he could.
And then what? Then what are they going to do? Build their own network? That's not going to happen.
Yeah, they'd have to go out and buy adapters to charge their cars on anything else.
But I'm saying Elon could probably find a way to block that car from charging.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind he could. No doubt in my mind. Probably from his office on Mars.
He can send a tweet and shut off their car.
Yeah. Boy, that cough that's going around, and I've got it. So does my bride. And we get it. There's just no stopping it. My pharmacist says, rub Vicks on your chest. That's what my ma used to say, Chuck. She used to say, put Vicks on your chest.
Well, see, it's a good advice.
I'd call my dad and tell him I was sick after I got married. He goes, get to the store and get you some Vicks.
Yep.
That was his fix for everything. Okay, Ford will cut 14% of its European workforce amid China challenge and slow electric vehicle sales. In other words, they're cutting back. Ford plans to cut 4,000 jobs in Europe by 2027 as it struggles to sell its new battery electric cars amid a slowdown in electric vehicle demand in the region and increasing competition from Chinese rivals. Well, of course, if they're selling them for half the price, a fourth of the price we sell them, we're getting over $40,000 or more for even our cheapest electric vehicles, and they're selling them for 10 and 11. The job losses will reduce the automaker's European workforce by about 14%. Most of the cuts will happen in Germany, where 2,900 jobs will be cut, with 800 jobs to be eliminated in the United Kingdom and 300 in other European markets. Ford said. Globally, the layoffs represent about 2.3% of Ford's workforce of 174,000. You know, Chuck, I gotta comment on this. I gotta say something. Give me 1 minute though. I'll tell you something in a minute. Marcus Wassenberg, managing director at Ford's German division, said all the German job cuts would occur at Ford's main site in Cologne, accounting for around a quarter of the factory's workforce. He singled out Germany for its high labor and energy costs. Well, you know, Germany has the most robust, supposedly the most robust economy in Europe. Supposedly. I don't know who's who or what's what, and I don't know who's rich over there and who's not, but I got to tell you, I got to ask you about this, and this drives me crazy. With going into Europe with these cars, why are we even bothering when they're selling cars as cheap as they are out of China?
Well, I mean, look at the American car market. There used to be $20,000 cars, and there's $100,000, Mercedes and Escalades and things like that. So just because it's cheap doesn't mean that everybody's going to buy it. There's a market for Cybertruck. There's a market for the Mach-E.
Well, I think, for God's sakes, Henry Ford's first Model A cost a lot more than $10,000. No, it didn't. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying.
Well, so that becomes a question. Is just because, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't let anybody I care about drive in a $10,000 EV, and I certainly wouldn't let them park it anywhere near my house.
No, I don't want any loved ones of mine in that car, and I don't want that charging off of any electricity that comes out of my house.
Right.
I don't want them shorting out. I don't want them catching fire. I don't want the whole thing going up in smoke. And and you know what? When these cars are built like that, with employees that make $4 a day, or some of them don't get paid anything. They're allowed to live.
Well, even the kids that are mining the batteries are out there and
in
their
Africa
bare
and so
feet
forth,
and digging and with no protection on.
Oh,
them.
I saw some pictures of China. Not China, Africa.
Right. So the whole process, what's meant to be green, what's meant to make you feel good that you're having a green vehicle, is basically made by slave labor the entire way around.
Oh, and it's degrading your planet Earth. It's digging a football field size hole.
Right, but again, this isn't about reality. This is about feelings. And even though there's people that are trying to expose these things, they're met with lots of resistance, even here, and against the American government, the American media, that doesn't want you to see what's going into. It's like, what do they used to say about finding out how the sausage is made, kind of thing.
You don't have to tell me about feelings. I've been trying to hire a cleanup kid for over a year and a half, and they just, the one kid, I told him I needed him Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 5:30. He just looked at me like I was strange and said, "Every day?" I said, "Dude, that's 2 hours a day. That won't even mess up with your homework."
You should see some of these, these
But
kids.
I have things.
Right. Well, there's these kids on social media that when they find out they have to work 8 hours a day every day, they go, "Wait, every day?"
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. But of course, we've done this to ourselves by teaching these kids to be woke.
Well, but again, if the kids can't afford a car because they're not working, then they're going to have to buy a $10,000 EV.
They don't care. Half of them don't care. I don't get it. But you know what? It's not for me to reason why. I just have to just report it and let it die. Okay, Ford is going to reduce Bronco production and reassign 400 more workers. Every story so far now, since I came to the second section here, has not been good. Sluggish sales have led Ford to cut Bronco production in early 2025. Ford Motor Company is dialing back Bronco production amid rising inventories, and a slowdown in sales, reassigning 400 workers who build the SUV at the Michigan assembly plant to nearby locations. Roughly 400 workers will be relocated to either the Dearborn Engine Plant or Monroe Parts Depot, effective the first quarter. Jeez, the plant will be down for the first 2 weeks in January, they always are, to prepare for the model year changeover, the automaker said. They got to retool the place. Despite the changes, Ford said the plant, which also builds the Ranger midsize pickup, would remain on a 3-crew pattern, so it's got 3 shifts a day. I don't know, but you got to tell me why a company the size of Ford cannot get rid of these cars. You know, give me a break. Ford is not this is not their first day on the job. They should be able to pedal these cars no problem. I got to tell you, Chuck, I gave a talk at the high school here a while back to some young kids that were looking to go into trade school, specifically automotive trade school. And we sat and we talked for a while, and all I could say to them was, this is how the guys from Ford had to feel when Henry Ford rolled that first car off the assembly line. This is an exciting time to be part of the car business. It's also a frustrating time.
I bet their horses weren't that excited.
No, the horses weren't that good about it.
But I bet when you told them, I thought the one word you'd say is run away from this business.
Run, Forrest, run. No, I'm telling you, nobody, the oil lobbyists are not real happy about this electric stuff either. But here's the deal. It's a great time because it's innovative, it's all new, it's all high tech. It's a challenge for kids to get into the car business, and either if you're selling them or fixing them, designing them, whatever you're doing right now, the guy that comes up with the best hybrid design is going to be the winner right now.
You tell them, go home, start working on batteries in your basement. Figure out how to make a better battery.
Don't let mom and dad see you doing that. Because batteries have a tendency to catch fire. Be careful.
We'll do it out in the shed then.
We also need somebody to come up with a suitable hydrogen engine, which I think has happened in Japan already. I'm pretty sure there's a company over there, and there's one in Sweden, that has come up with a hydrogen engine that may not just fuel a hybrid, okay, it may fuel, or it may run the whole car. It may run semis. And what comes out the tailpipe of a hydrogen engine? Water. And that's why we do it. We're trying to get green. We're the only ones trying to get green if you look around. But what are you going to do? We like to spend our money on silly stuff. Nobody else is caring about the planet. Well, we probably should. We care about our future of our families.